So I know that I was just rolling, but and it was a little quiet. There was some liking. Got a new subscriber, which was nice. Not too sure what to think of the content. It's one of those things. If somebody is an open-minded religious person, not that I'm that wild or whatever, but then we'll get along just fine. But if they aren't, we might not gel. So what I'm going to do, the other person in the house wasn't ready for dinner, and it is only 8 o'clock. And I know some people might think, well, it wouldn't be 8 o'clock at night if you're talking about in the morning if you're talking about dinner, and 8 o'clock at night's awfully late. But it's what we often do, to be honest. He gets home from work at a fairly usual time, and there's a couple self-care routines, and then there's a fitness thing, dance fitness program thing, and then home daily, and then it's pretty much eating at 8 or 8:30, so it'll be 8:30, 8:45. It's really not that much later than it, and even though we had an extra distraction, but I'm just having a little bit now. Put this here. Hi, son. I think I prefer them dried. They're just too doughy otherwise. And as far as scrolling lives, I do enjoy it. There's a feature that's not been working, which annoys me. Although I only know how to do it on the cell phone, and the other feature that's not been working has been working on the cell phone. But I saw something. Well, I see feelings, but one particular thing that I've kind of struggled to forget. A couple of them actually. But those, like the dogs, they look like they were just fine. Just a lot of them, all laying, very breathing, but laying still. And then the other thing, it was very crisp, but it looked like it must have been open. So, I know I'm starting right at the start. Not like I've been rolling forever and got hungry, but it is a little late. I had put 2 in the bowl, and the other ones not yet. So I figured I'll just have these 2. Yeah, so if I'm not scrolling live and I don't know what else I do have some things I want to watch, but I also am feeling kind of social and like having some conversation. So I'm just looking at my laptop at the moment too. And that's people that it's also on top chat. If I switch it to all, it doesn't look like much has happened on this particular other person's stream since I commented about. Wow, it's kind of doing something weird and not actually updating. I don't know. Okay, now that loads, and I have a feeling chat will too. Doing it twice, but he must have wrapped up. Wow, 5-hour one. He does long ones sometimes. He lives by himself and has some insomnia and just in general. Yeah, you have to go out just a moment. He gets like that really because I don't know, he's a got a lot of personality, his breed, but he gets like that because I think he wants us to go out and play with him. Go out with him when we go for walks, but other than that, it's very cold, kind of windy out, and I don't really want to. So he can do his thing, and then I'll let him back in. He can just be out there playing in the snow and that. So, and anything that you might want to talk about, a passion or something you might want support around. I'm just letting a fellow YouTube friend know that I'm rolling and see if he might tune in. Is this the thing I watched earlier? Because it's not the, like when you hover over a video, sometimes it has a moving image, and that's not the one that I quite remember. I just don't know if I want to play something here, and if I could, like in one of my videos, or if I just want to talk about it. And basically, it's about this guy as he was growing up. He was getting bad grades in school, and he moved from school to school, and I can't remember a lot of details, but and I saw it just today. And he lied about his grades to his mother, and at first she didn't realize, and then the next time she did, and then he got moved to a school where the teachers really believed in him, and just were very encouraging and very like, and you're like, are you sure you know who I am or whatever? And it's like, and then come from all these different schools. Wyatt's vlog. Hello, welcome. Sorry, I'm gonna have to let our dog in because he's being a bit distracting. We can pick a topic. I know I had one in the previous video that didn't really get I didn't really get into after all because there was some likes, and there was one person that commented and subscribed. Commented a couple times and subscribed. I didn't know if she noticed the highlight comment and thought that it wasn't going to be for her, or had to leave for whatever reason. But so there's one kind of topic I'm sort of thinking of. By the way, Wyatt is a cool name. And what do you vlog about? What do you post about? I'll be right back. Hey, come in. Come on. Come in. Don't make me step out here. I don't have shoes. Get in here now. Thank you. Our dog's got snow on his face, and if he's distracting, I'll put him upstairs. But so Wyatt, is this your first time to the channel, and how did you come across it? Out of curiosity. And welcome, by the way. So yeah, it's about this is about this channel is about wellness, supporting each other, or support human behavior, so psychology, doing music. I feel like there's one or two I'm forgetting at the moment, but and then it really varies. Just not a lot about politics, not a lot about sports and religion. I know, big topics, but a lot of people stay away from some of those. I don't have cable, so I haven't followed much sports lately. So, Random Junk, my channel is really just a testing channel to see what works and what. Yeah, I guess I could say we could all say that, right? And it depends on who's watching, right? But random is definitely a word I know well. So I'm in Canada, by the way. How about you? So that does anyone know this phrase, Phil? I haven't watched cable TV in probably 20 years. Really? Well, this is interesting, actually. Okay, so it hasn't maybe been that long for me, but this is very interesting. I was watching a video, and we could talk about a music video. We could talk about a slightly more mature topic, but I was alluding to it in the other video. To be honest, I'd really like some people to guess. But I don't know. I kind of let's play that one by ear. But the music video, I don't know if I should say which one it is or have you guess that too, because I'm feeling playful. And also I do music, but I did this song the other day and don't really want to do it today. But anyway, what I was getting around to saying is that something you think is overrated. I don't know. That's a sticker topic. That Small World Story here on YouTube the other day. I've had two of them, especially. I saw somebody whose last name I recognized. There's sometimes an MC in front of it, sometimes there's not. It's kind of unique. There was somebody in one of my guitar magazines. I was just looking at one the other day, actually, for the first time in ages. I'm just going to put our dog upstairs. I can tell he's already had a chew stick. I can tell he wants to. I think he was a podcaster in another life, a live streamer. He gets very vocal sometimes when I'm doing these. I'm not sure why. You know, you haven't even really had one yet. Sorry about that distraction. I'm glad I decided to roll again. You seem like a nice fellow that I'm talking with here. But anyway, so I said, are you related to anybody in this part of Ontario, Canada? And he said, and I said a couple names, a mother and a daughter. She's an adult now. I knew her in high school because I was in high school with her. And basically, he says, yes, I did know one. And there was, it's not necessarily a unique descriptive, but I said she was of Asian background. And I'm waiting to find out, but he is from a bigger city with a bunch of small towns around it, and he's from that area. So I think we have a mutual in common. Very much seems that way, because it's not a huge place, Windsor, Ontario, but I'm closer to Edmonton now. Anyway, so but the detail is that apparently the woman was born in Florida, so maybe you know her too. Because don't all Floridians know each other? Is that even what they call them? I don't know. I'm sure they don't know each other, but yeah, and I didn't know that about her. I dated the daughter, like I said, when we were both in high school, and I was at their house fairly often. I remember their living room and the bright color. I think it was orange and purple. I don't remember the rest of the house. Really weird. And I only remember her coming at our moving away party. I think we hung out at school, and we hung out on about, but mostly at school. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So, do you speak French too? I don't. Transplant. I was on that Windsor word. Moved here about 4 years ago from Michigan. Oh, so you know Windsor pretty well then, I guess, or know of it, definitely for sure. I would imagine. What part of Michigan? Not that I'm familiar with a lot of it, but I've known a couple people in my time from there that have actually specifically known they were from there. No, I don't speak French. The other person in the house does, and plays the French Duolingo and this and that. Central, okay. Anyway, so we could talk about a music video. We could, and by the way, the name was Taggart. We could talk about a music video. We can talk about I don't want to gender it, but I kind of do. A men's topic, if that might be of interest to you. And yeah, those are kind of a couple ideas floating through my mind. I guess I'm open to suggestions, but I have those ideas. Yeah. But isn't that wild? You know, like, this is a pretty big platform and site, and so to have those coincidences is really quite something, isn't it? As far as the music video, honestly, there might, like I played the song on piano on the 2-hour stream the other day, near the beginning of it, near-ish. But other than that, and what kind of passions, hobbies do you have, Derek? Yeah, that's a good song. I'm just going to put on some muscle rub. I hope that both of you won't mind. I've had a really tight chest today. There. It's a world of laughter, a world of fears. It's a world of hopes and a world of... It's so much that we share that it's time. I don't know if I said that in the other video, and I think you probably already realized this because you're not shy and you seem like you're pretty nice. But I'll say it because it's early on. Just, it's an obvious thing, but maybe some people sometimes forget. We have a lot more in common with each other as people and as fellow humans than we have different. Of course, we do have differences. Don't forget to like Wyatt. I appreciate it. Also, the name Watt is in my family, but slightly different. And then Wyatt is your first name. Thank you. Wyatt is your first name, or because I know it can be both. So the music video, all I've got to say about it is see if people can figure this out, because I do and don't think it's a unique theme. I'd like to do more mental health songs, actually, which I'm sure lots of people are doing. But first name, okay, yeah, I like it. This is YouTube. I don't really want to say mine. My initial is C, but if people know it, they know it. But those are, in time, maybe, right now we got 3 people here, and I appreciate you all being here. So the music video I'm alluding to, it's basically about a guy who has had an estranged and this is pretty much, music is open to interpretation, but this is pretty much across the board. Excuse me, pretty much across the board, that people feel this, I believe, that he had a strained relationship with his dad. And his dad got stage 4 cancer. And I'm not going to say much about that because I know it's one of those things. But we feel the feels a lot of us relate to having or knowing someone, a loved one that's had that. I also heard another interesting song by somebody, Lewis, called Everybody Talks to God or something like that. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that song, and there was one lyric specifically that stood out, 2 actually, but that's not the song I was referring to. I do have ADHD, can you tell? I connect things together and circle back around them. Anywho, so his dad was, and pretty much talking about being a caretaker for a parent. I don't know if there's a lot of songs about that. Do you know what song I'm talking about? And yeah, basically, I even saw a couple of videos today of therapists reviewing the songs, and the one had a really neat reaction. In fact, she did a video with someone else too, but I haven't seen that yet. And then there was another one. There was 3 guys, and the middle one was really quiet. I mean, there was a main speaker, then there was the other one. I don't know why he reminded me of somebody famous. And the other one was really quiet, and I think they were siblings. At least 2 of them were. And then at one point, he just kind of put his head in his shirt like this and that, and then opened up a little bit. But it is a very deep song. Any ideas what song I might be talking about? Just wondering if I'm describing it well. But yeah, I think it does. It speaks to, and then, if we don't drive and we don't have much money and maybe we're a little sensitive or easily stressed out, it could be hard to, and also forgiveness can be hard. It can be hard to look past, things and especially with a loved one, and then take on that role as they're getting older, or, maybe I'll sing a little sample of it now, and then you can hear me doing it on the piano in the video I did the other day, like I say, near the beginning of the 2-hour ones. Do you want a verse or do you want a chorus? And do you want it with an instrument or a cappella? Other than that, I know I kind of alluded, as I did in the previous one, but like I say, I didn't get that in depth really, to another topic. And if you would like, I feel like I'd have to put a little highlighted comment in here though, just for a heads up for people. It seems to be my theme tonight. It's like, guess what I'm talking about. I don't do that often, but And sometimes I have to guess too. It's like, what am I talking about? No, I was kidding. Oh yeah, there's also a little bit of comedy here and there sprinkled in. So, and I know that that was a few things there. But do you have you ever been to Canada? Either way, not sure if I know if I'll know the song. What I could also do is just play it instrumentally, or at least a little bit of it instrumentally. I'm not too sure if the chords are that unique, to be quite honest. But let me see here. Um, I don't think I want to do as much as I do because you seem like you'd be happy to hear it. It's um, it's a theme. It's a hard one to get through, and I did it yesterday. So, but I'll do a little bit of it. You've always wanted to learn piano. Well, I'd be happy to teach you virtually. Do you have one? Yeah, I went to Detroit or Michigan once as a child and possibly a couple other states, but honestly haven't been to any since. And these days I don't think I'd want to. And, no offense to any states or anybody from them, but I mean, and I probably have I do have online contacts that live in the states, but um, it's not a huge draw for me. I still got to learn that Zach Abel one. Uh, so I would say that this is. I don't know even what genre I would put this in. Folk rock? I don't know. It's just interesting to see the various people that it reaches and cover because that or it reaches and resonates with because that's the power of music. Um, yeah. Yeah, I had a little extra time before dinner tonight while I waited for the other person in the house. So I don't blame you. Times are crazy right now. Hmm. Well, what I would recommend is see if they're. I don't. I told someone not that long ago. I don't know if I'd recommend getting one online, secondhand though. Maybe. I guess I don't really do a lot of online shopping in general, really. But uh, but yeah, if you get one, let me know. Hopefully, you get a good deal on one. Uh, we're actually very blessed. We did get a secondhand keyboard. We also have one that doesn't work. I mean, we could probably get it working. I think it just is missing an adapter at the moment or something. It's too bad you don't live closer because I know New York is a 2 hour, no, 25 hour drive from us. So I don't know about Florida. Utah is about the same, actually. So you might not even be all that far because, yeah, we do have one. And then we have the one which we wouldn't get rid of. And then we also have the piano. Um, but so I really would, but see, with my previous video that I did, I'd rather have the conversation about most of it in the live chat. I don't, we are just getting to know each other and we're getting along, and I would just hope and ask that you don't seem like you're a very judgy person. We all have opinions, we all make judgments, but I would just ask that you try not to judge me for maybe wanting to talk about it, but there is something I wouldn't mind possibly actually having a conversation about either tonight or sometime very soon. Not you specifically, but since you're here, possibly. But let me do the song a little bit first. It actually is kind of an interesting combination of chords. I wasn't meaning to sound awkward, but that's cool. There's two of you here right now, and the other person isn't saying anything yet, but you just got here. But yeah, I am too. There's actually a couple, because again, the thing I want to talk about, it's not just a men's topic; it's a human topic. Um, and but there is for some reason, me and many other guys would rather probably talk to other guys about it. But again, as far as like basically, I do want to say this. I'll say it this way: I do accept gender diversity, and not just in the terms of there's men and there's women. Some people say there's, more than five genders, and that I don't necessarily think I agree with. But I would say that trans is real. There's lots of trans people, and I would say that non-binary is a thing. And I believe that it's still you that's here, out of the two that were at the top a moment ago. And I am mildly non-binary. I don't really explore it very much, but I'm open to doing so, and I have a little bit. But that's not the topic I was. But I'm, born male, never planning to have a surgery, basically. But I'm going to go to the piano. We are only 25 minutes in. I don't know how much. I think I had about 45 minutes to do this before I had to wrap up. So I've done about half that. Yeah, and I'm still kind of tired. I'm not really feeling that hungry, and those two was good enough for me. Uh, but it's almost 9 o'clock, and I should eat soon. Why are you the person that's indicating is watching at the top right now? Just checking. Either way, if I get into this topic, and if it is you that's still here, you can still stay with this one and then go to that one. There's no order you have to do it in. But I would say for anybody else who is not seeing this live, it would be better, I think, to see the previous live stream first and then this. Like, it's not a must, but I feel like it would be the better order. Uh, Oh, also, I almost didn't roll tonight because it's doing that thing still where it's not necessarily like I'll wrap up and it says there was this many comments. And so it didn't say a huge number the previous one, but it said 11. And I know I put two or three. One person put one or two. I wasn't seeing the rest of them for some reason. I'm a guy, born a guy, pretty sure I'm a dude. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think most guys do. It's just, are they aware of them? Do they accept that they have them? Or are they too macho, to accept them? I think you can be a very manly man and realize that there's a bit of a spectrum. Even if you're not going to cross dress or do anything like that, you can have feminine qualities. One of the ones that keeps popping up a lot lately is actually, and, I mean, sometimes our system, our body won't let us feel the emotions we want to feel, or it's uncomfortable, right? But I do believe that you know it's a no woman should think this, but sometimes they think it because a lot of men are this way. But I also think no men of any age, and I think more so it's the older ones that say that they don't show their feelings and that they feel like they shouldn't show their feelings. Um, but in the digital age, and again, the younger generations especially, uh, and I mean they're human. They're gonna be showing their feelings occasionally. I'm also just between you and me. Uh, I mean that kind of fit with the non-binary part, but which is different than trans. But I don't mind trans as long as they respect boundaries. My main feeling about boundaries is that they are important to have sometimes. Like, speaking about strained relationships with parents, I had a fallout with my mother, but we've been back in contact for almost a couple of years now. Not as much as we ever were before, and we probably won't be. But boundaries, I think, are often an excuse to put up a wall and not confront a situation, not talk about a situation with the others involved. And I think that sometimes it's important to do that, and as quickly as you can, so that feelings don't fester, resentment doesn't come along, and people are more willing to forgive whatever because happened because you did address it and work to fix it. You know, uh, um, but and if that doesn't work, or someone is really truly very toxic, I think you could say that not for me, that it's going to be about whether entirely or just in a certain area with somebody. I think men are taught through culture that you must be a manly man, and we are not made that way. All Yeah, we're human, right? The way we are raised and experiences we go through make us who we are. And that's something else I often feel, that a lot of us will go through the same things in life, but at different stages, and there's no, it's not necessarily linear either, right? Um, but yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of that song, at least give you a preview. This is the second stream I've done tonight. I'm going to be relaxing the rest of the evening, though, and not that I'm not relaxed now, but I'm a bit tired, and I did just do it the other day, but I'll do a little bit of it at least, and then yeah, um, basically, do you know what NFAP stands for? Do you know what that stands for? I mean, it might stand for a lot of things, but as far as like on the mature side of things, and again, I'll just say that anybody who is not a base, I try and talk about things delicately and educationally, and there's a lot worse stuff out there on the internet. I'll just say that to anyone who's like, but it's an area that people can support each other about. So I'm going to go to the piano, but I am curious about that. I'm curious. Or basically FAP. Take the N out. Well, yeah. You know what that means. And also, I'm looking at your picture. You look like you're close in age to me. I'm in my 30s. Not sure what the acronym means. So, this feels really awkward to bring it on, talk about it on here, but people do talk about it. People do. And I might just have to, and I'll definitely round this off with a bit of music. And then I did a lot over the weekend and posted it too. But basically, but you're pretty laid back and you're pretty open, so this feels comfortable. And people that think that it's a bad thing, whether it's because of religion or whatever, should support that people people talking about this with each other, and basically no fap, or retention. I know it is a very random topic, but basically let's just say this. Well, I can't believe how honest I'm being. I might private this afterwards, but because I might. But anyway, I basically relapsed today, and it's a movement that I've been kind of back and forth about, thinking much about it, or thinking that it's a thing that makes sense. um, but basically, it's one of those things. I feel like there's worse things people can do, that it is very human. It might have some health benefits. Apparently I have a large prostate, but and then also, like I say, I talked about it in a very vague sort of way in the previous one, but there wasn't really that many people watching at the time, but and it like I said, it's very human. And also sometimes I talk about the afterlife on here. Not that really that much relates to it, but like there's one or two people I'm thinking of that were quite wild in their life, that have passed away, and I strongly believe that they are in heaven. So I mean, if you're not doing anything super outlandish and you're just doing something human, like I don't think that forbids somebody from, some people attach it to luck. And it's kind of like, and then I feel like I don't know. But, so if you're open to sharing your thoughts about it, I'll hear them. I'm not going to make you, but, it's just, I just, I very much go back and forth with, it's not a big deal. I don't want to be doing that. It's not a big deal. I don't want to be doing that. And that's changed for me over the years. Even harder because I am within that community in a very, flux sort of way as well. So it's kind of like there's even more. confrontation. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what else to say about it. I don't know what my questions are, other than should it be, is it something that, I don't know. You're welcome to say your opinions, but thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out. Let's do that song. And I don't hugely like the title, but it is, like I say, a very nice song. And got three of you here. I wish I had more music in me tonight, but I don't hugely feel like I do. I don't feel any more confident with that song. What's this? Okay, I might feel more confident with this one, but I often wonder what consciousness is. I should read this myself first. Is that me a chemical reaction? That's very interesting to something I saw somebody say in somebody else's chat today. They said, is somebody a soul or a consciousness or something like that? I said, I would hope both. I don't know if that was exactly the combination of words they used, but I think it is. It's the same with what you're saying, I would say. Of course. Why wouldn't each new life be a brand new soul? And I will just say also, on that previous thing, the world's a huge world. I mean, we could say God's part of the creation if we'd like, but the world's a huge world for those kind of reasons. So, okay, so I'm going to play this song, and I might try and noodle through another one, and then I'm probably going to have to wrap up. But I know you want to hear the music. I'm sure that you feel like I'm likely talented. I wouldn't own instruments and be willing to post on the internet if I wasn't, right? But, I mean, maybe some would. But, so. Oh, sorry, that's I thought that sounded funny. That's the other song. Guess what I was talking about there? There was a bit more forward with it, kind of, sort of, just then. If you've been through things that start with R and have four letters in them, or you've been through those kind of traumas in your life and feel that they're traumas, I'm not saying they aren't. As much as I am open to being a life coach in a lot of areas, my best advice about relationships, just to say that, is have empathy with each other. And thank you. The other person in the house plays classical, but other stuff too. I don't play classical, but I do play the other stuff. If you have a song request, I can maybe try and do it. But because I can go for, I don't think a full hour, but we'll see. But anyway, relationships, it's about having empathy and openness. I mean, I'm one that feels that, thanks for the second like, by the way. I am one, and mostly not ashamed to be, that feels that it's okay if someone wants to be in an open poly relationship, for instance. Now, yes, that can make more complications. It can also help because, we can't necessarily always give everything to a partner in any of the ways. And I think if we have an open, a lot of cheating is because, people, I mean, it can be awkward for sure, but it's because partners don't communicate with each other. So they feel like that sometimes it's impulse, but they feel like they have to do it behind their back. Right. So I'm not necessarily, yeah. And other than that, I would suggest counseling, but any other topic other than those two, live and let live. I haven't dated in 8 years. Oh, well, don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, looking at your little profile picture, as small as it is, look like a nice enough guy to me, and you certainly talk as one. So, I don't believe I think you feel like you probably, I could be wrong, but I get the sense that you feel like you yourself are not in the community. Not that opens up options, even if you like both. I mean, but it can for some people, for sure. But that's ironic because I've been in a relationship for 8 years. I've never, other than, I don't know if I've ever been single for that long. Like I said, I was in a relationship in grade 12 with that person I was mentioning back then. And then 5 or 6 years, 2 years, 5 or 6 years later, another 2 years, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years later, another 2 years, one a couple months, and then the 8-year one, I believe. I'm doing the math right. Anyway, so do you know the song? This is the chorus. Also, I noticed you didn't say anything to that other thing that I mentioned, a couple of the other things, and that's fine if you don't feel comfortable doing it, but you gave the vibe like you might be, and I'm open to thoughts. You know, if it's that you don't want to come across as judgy, yeah, maybe at times I can be a little sensitive, but I try not to be, and I could look at it as an opinion as opposed to a judgment, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of sounds familiar. It's a James Blunt song. Yeah. Yeah. The movement. I don't usually do it like that, but being a little bit. What's the word? But yeah, other than that, so you've learned a bit about me, being in a couple different ways in the Djibouti community, being musical. The other person on this channel relates somewhat to that too. We talk about mental health and wellness on this channel. And then the other thing is the afterlife, as I mentioned. I'm going to noodle through while I'm waiting to see what else you might say. And I feel like that one longer comment about chemical and soul almost had something to do with it, maybe. But I'm going to try this one again because I tried it the other day and it didn't. I'd watched the video a few hours prior, and then when I actually tried to do it, I think I misunderstood what you said. It sounded like you said, and it didn't fit with the other stuff. So the R word didn't clue you in? And I wouldn't have spelled it if it was an acronym. I would say it's an acronym, whereas the other one is a word. I'm not trying to be suggestive or anything. And also, fat is not just something that adults relate to. R word? Yeah, retention. No, I don't know if that's saying we shouldn't go deeper into that, or if we should. I don't know. I thought that certainly compared to the previous one, where I was trying to ease into the topic, and it just, like I say, people weren't really. They were giving likes and support or whatever, staying for a few moments. I don't know if it was my vagueness was annoying them, or they just. I guess I'm a little confused, to be honest. I don't know if I should tell you to Google it or. I'm gonna privatize it well later. Just say that. Like, what the heck was that? If you don't know, there's no hope for you. No, it's kidding. I'll Google it. I guess you realize it could be anything, and it's nothing all that bad, really. I mean, I'm surprised that, well, yeah, if you did mishear those two words. And I guess those other two words that you guessed could go together. It's true. And then I did that thing, but I guess you didn't. Anyway, but I'm going to noodle through this song and see if you can guess it. That part I'm not quite getting for some reason. What kind of magic? It's automatic. I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. Even if it's raining, I'm not complaining. I feel like dancing, dancing, dancing. I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. These two dance songs that I'm doing, I'd like to do the karaoke version later so I can actually dance at the same time. Or guitar, but I don't know if my guitar has a strap on it. That one does. I should put it on that one since that's the one I play. I just finally got this on this thing over the holiday. I'm going to probably be wrapping up soon tonight, but and I've done two, but I will roll again tomorrow night. No, that's actually tied quite well. So to have the karaoke. Jason Mraz, yeah, good one. Good. I didn't know if that song was all that popular. And do you have one more song request before I wrap this one up? And what did Google tell you? What did Google tell you? I don't know if it's because I'm tired because of having so much fun podcasting, or if I'm coming down with something. I don't really feel that hungry, or if it's because I know it's going to be heavy. But I made some pierogies and I got creative and put some, because we didn't have onion and stuff, I put some artichokes and olives in it. I don't think this salsa really went well with it though. There's a symbol next to the name for some reason. Again, I don't feel like you're going to judge me regardless of what it is. I don't know about the second person that just turned in. Okay, it looks like that. I think you're still here. I think they left. Although they might come back and say, we'll talk about it in a moment, because it sounds like I was trying to say something when they weren't here. And I was, but I'll probably said this. But the no-fap movement. SEM, couple more letters, is in the front of that. I guess I also thought the way I was talking about it made it, it's not something I've really talked about much on here, but you're like, oh, right, that. I did that 2 hours before I started coming, or I did that, well, it was on YouTube, anyway, sorry. Anyway. Scientific, interesting. And other than that, if you have one more song request, I'm going to do it, or try to do it, and then I'm going to wrap up. Got 3 other people here. If either of them would like to give a song request. Got to be close to 9 here now. Just want to check something quickly. Surprised that it actually doesn't look darker in here because is this one? I can't tell. I don't know, man. I really don't have any friends. LMA, right? To talk to any. I think you mean you'll talk to anyone? So how old are you? In your 20s or your 30s? Looking at your picture, and you're a student? You have work? Neither? Not judging? So I'm also not looking while I ask. I just wanted to look at something. 41, okay. We're very, very close in age. You should know what the thing was. Just saying. Why does it keep showing me his stuff? I don't want to see it. I feel mixed about that, but do I just... Okay. Oh, I see. Was that a car accident or a house fire or... That must make things very hard, especially in the dating world. Which I can understand, but I also feel like, you seem like a great person and look like you have a friendly face. No, I'm just looking at something on YouTube quickly. Uh, but um, so I'm sorry to, yeah, guess you're in a wheelchair or? That reminds me of a guitarist I've came across in live streams. His chat's quite active, and it's partly because of his disability. I think, I guess it is kind of a disability, or I forget what the other word would be, but I think it's also the music. Oh, okay, huh? Kane, what is that? Was that in a house or at a job? I feel like we might have that in our house. Whoops, sorry. And what is cane? Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I use that for neuropathy, scoliosis, just generally getting a bit old, I guess. If my balance a little bit sometimes, yeah. It might be CANE. I'm not sure, but that's fine. Anyway, but this guy, I don't know if it's a skin disorder that he has or if it's a burn. I was actually quite young when I saw somebody. I forget what the name of it is. Starts with an A. Um, I was quite young when it was a taxi driver um, that had one of the two conditions. Well, I'm sending you a virtual hug, okay, man? Because you know, uh, I'm sure that you deal with I don't know if I think you said you post videos, yeah, and in life maybe you get judged quite often. So and that other thing I was talking about, maybe it's just something that doesn't even you don't even struggle with, it doesn't even cross your mind. um, I'm not even sure if you know what I'm talking about. Still, basically, seeing the other person just did it, but you may have misheard. You may have misheard, but anyway, but uh, but the truth is, a lot of those things could happen to any of us, and um, yeah. So hopefully, you've remembered to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Uh, and if you have a song request, feel free to put it. Yeah, think sailors and then the word retention. But again, you might be a very unique individual in that way where it's not really something that is even comfortable for you to do. And for me, in a different reason, it is and it isn't. But yeah. Thank you. Remember the notification bell. You'll get notified next time I'm live as well. Um, yeah, I've also pre-diabetes. Um, Apparently, peripheral neuropathy is not of the eyes. It's of the feet, or that's the video I found. I forget what he said the eye one was called, but luckily I don't have that yet. I have arthritis. I have a few mild mental health conditions, but a few of them. So, yeah, I've got a lovely little basket as well, a lovely little assortment. But you know what? I don't mind the labels for the most part. If I know that they are true to me, even if I'd rather not have them or I feel iffy about them, they're me. I feel without them, there's not much to me. But I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly. But if you have a song request, please give it now. I don't want to get G in the mode to stream because it is late and we really should have dinner. And I have something else I want to look at with him first. But he's probably wondering why I haven't came whining. Are you going to go for dinner or what? But do you finally realize what I was talking about, by the way? Do you finally realize what I was referring to? Because I've given like tons of great hints. It's like, what was that show I was watching earlier? And it's like, ooh, is it snowing or is it just kind of foggy out? Can't tell in the dark. I'm from here. She I'd seen this one particular episode of the show before, but not as often as some of the other episodes. And I thought of it recently, and then yeah, I guess I watched it recently. And that's why it showed it. And she didn't like she didn't like pets. Neither do I. If you don't tell me because I won't understand that. But anyway, basically, what was it she said? Oh, she was trying to get them to guess where she was from, and and she said, "See, I'm glad I came early again." She tried to get them. I think I said that to guess where she was from, and basically, it's this cool show concept where they swap families for a week. They say spouses, but essentially it's the full family, and those parents were lazy, and he joked that they were homeless. They actually were quite at risk of being so. And again, all of us could be, and hopefully we won't be. But uh, she was from Austria. She didn't have a strong accent, unlike my cookie teacher in high school, speaking of high school. And basically, here's the clue, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try any further than that. But like, what was it? I missed it. Sorry, then you missed it if you did. It's like, oh, I didn't miss it. Anywho, but anyway, yeah, she was from uh, there, and she was giving them clues like the yodel there, and it's near the Switzerland Alps or mountains or whatever. And they did finally get it after 5 or 6 clues, but they and the kids of that family, the other house was huge, not just in comparison, but it was huge. The kids of that family, Dancy was the last name. It's kind of funny, and the other one was Whopperer. Uh, but the kids of that family were like already older. One of them was actually like both of them were working, supporting the parents. How messed up, right? I mean, that one family, I think the guy was a musician. I don't know what. I think they both were musicians, but you can make income at that. I don't because I don't drive and I don't like bars that much. But anyway, and I trying to figure out. We decided PayPal wasn't the best thing, so I'm trying to figure out if we should use what's it called? Uh, Starts with a P, Patreon, for donations or whatever. But well, let me know if you ever find it out, but only when it's just you watching. I know we've just met. I almost want to give him a minute. I feel bad too that you feel like you're socially isolated. I think we've been meaning to find each other for a long time, perhaps. Well, yeah, it varies, but often it can be, especially because alcohol is involved. I was tributing someone over the weekend though who was a karaoke host in bars, and I went to that quite often. Anyway, you put some requests, so um, mm, and I know all. Well, one of them's a singer, and the other two are songs. I do know all of them, but what would I rather do? I'm gonna look because I do know it. I'm gonna look into that first one you said later, and maybe consider doing it later. Um, Don't Stop Believing. I feel like I sang in karaoke on the weekend on here. Elton John. Do I know it? Of course I know Elton John. In fact, I did that with that would almost be better just to see. Again, this is the second or third time. I hate to say I'll try and do one now, but I am low energy. I do have to get on with my night soon. But I did a video. I can sing a little bit of that one maybe. I did it. I have to not lean on this because then it's going to hit the phone and send it flying. I did a 2 hour-ish video on the weekend, and we did a song, Circle of Life, which could be interpreted in different ways. There's the second or third verse I think you'd really resonate with, and often, sometimes it's included, I don't think. And I did it with somebody playing a pan flute, and I was on the keyboard. So that, and then we also did Stairway to Heaven. So I would say check out that one. It was just on the weekend. Queen, of course, is a good classic. Are you just intentionally naming gay ones? What do you think of The Afterlife, by the way, out of curiosity? Well, actually, they said that Freddie Mercury was by. I do have to, yeah. But no, I'll do a little bit of it. Watch, I'll do all of it. Thanks for understanding, by the way. But I do aim to please, and you're making requests, and sometimes it's like and I have to go to the dentist. And sometimes it's like pulling teeth for those, you know. I mean, I guess sometimes if someone hears "Give Me a Song Request" and their head just goes into a blur of music, well, they could also take their. Do people still use MP3s or iPods? Or am I outdated? I mean, I don't use them either, so I'm really outdated. But um, they use something to play music from, and they could scroll, I guess. But I don't know. Then they're still seeing a whole bunch, and it can be hard. But just name a whole bunch. You got the right strategy. Oh my goodness gracious me! G's sister was on, a brother was on one not long ago. This friend who attributed it on the weekend at a funeral, someone who wasn't on one before and was a pastor and a musician who was saying ACDC um, really well. Um, was on an oxygen tank and he was really limited in what he was able to do, and he was like permanently on one at the funeral. And then also, but it's nice that we both made it there, all things considered. And then also, I saw a movie in and around that time, a free movie on here called Max and Me. Uh, Hopefully, it'd be easy to find, especially with the and I, or it's not Max in a name, it's Max and Me. And there was a character in that had that, and I'd be curious if you check it out, what you'd think of it. Yeah, I channel sometimes, so I've seen that. I don't necessarily believe in reincarnation except for into angel, ghost and to angel, or just right to angel, or spirit animal to angel. Anyway, I'll do a little bit of this. I think I heard that he was about to come down. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. Not one of those who can easily hide. No, and I don't like eggs that much. I know. One of those. And two other people just tuned in for that fact. How much money, but boy, if I did, we'd buy a big house where we could both live. Yeah. So hopefully you realize I have, well, you probably did earlier too. I don't know. I don't mean to tip my own bugle, but I do have a bit of confidence, even though I could totally not have it with, the way that reaching my music goals has been in my life, or not reaching them. I do feel like I was gifted with musical talent and channeling talent, and it's really nice when that's appreciated. Sometimes it feels very unheard. Sometimes it feels appreciated. And I don't know if you were exaggerating when you said you don't have any friends, but I'm sure you find people to talk with online at least, and so that's great, and I resonate, and I'm really glad to be one of them. I want to thank you for your company tonight and the conversation in the chat, and I'm going to wrap up now. So enjoy it's probably close to the same time in Florida right now, I think. It's 9 o'clock here. But have a good evening, and we'll see you again some other evening, or on the weekend, maybe, until I get my new phone. Oh, it's that late there. Okay. But I guess if you're on disability, hopefully, you're at least getting. I know your government's not that great, but hopefully, apparently New York's a pretty good place to live. I don't know about Florida, and it's hard to know the beaches, but and I don't mind the sir and the bro and the dude and all those words. Yeah, I'm non-binary, but I'm largely still quite masculine. I did mention that, but it's okay if you forgot. But I do like those words. I'm not too particular about them myself. Anyway, so take care, and I hope to chat again soon.